Welcome to Creative Glamour. I'm Cecilia. Today I'm going to be showing you how to help with underneath the eye areas, neutralizing some of those unwanted colorings by using your color correctors and concealers. These are color correctors, so you can get it in a little trio palette. You can also get it in an 8mm pot, but then also if you make use of a 12 shade palette, in your 12 shade palette you'll have the color correctors, but you'll also have some skin tone concealer colors and a highlight and contour color that can be mixed in with any of your concealer colors. So for me, when you make use of color correctors, this is when you want to have a barely there kind of a look. So do you know those beauty shots where somebody just looks kind of transformed, but they don't have necessarily as much makeup on, or you can't even see the makeup? Then this is great to use because you're going to use very minimal. In general, you will be using very minimal for any kind of application, whether it's a barely there or for a more heavier application. The color correctors are highly pigmented, so you really just need a little drop to work with. So for today's look, we're not going to show you the whole makeup look. We're really just showing you how to use these exactly. So if you're doing this beauty shot and you're looking at your model's face and you want to see if there is, so I can see that there is some redness over there and there's some blueness over there. So if you take your orange concealer and a small brush and really putting a drop onto that brush, you would be able to neutralize any of the unwanted blueness that you see underneath the eye area. So when you're struggling with a lot of blueness, this is a nice thing for you to use. My model specifically doesn't have that much blueness in her under eye area, but everywhere where you do see some of that blueness, then that is what you want to be using. This can also be used on the top eyelid area. So if you have any blueness coming on this area over here, you can also neutralize it with that. But my specific model today has got quite a lot more redness in this specific area over here. So therefore, you can opt for going for your green concealer. So when I'm going to be using the green concealer, I want to use a little bit more of a fluffy brush because I want it to spread a little bit more. So by doing a little bit of a circular motion on your coloring, you will basically be heating up a bit of the waxes within the pigment or within the color corrector, and this will just help a little bit with spreadability for you to have a thinner application. The concealer and color corrector consistency is quite a nice thick tacky consistency, so if you wanted to do any kind of building, it is quite easy. So whenever you need a little bit more, rather work with too little than too much. So can you see, when you look at this eye, you have a much lighter already illusion than what this eye has before you've even applied any kind of concealer or any kind of foundation. So now moving on to a bit more of a skin tone coloring. So when you then use any of your skin tone colorings that is closest to your skin tone or your model's skin tone, then you can be using, once again, your small little brush and using some of this natural skin coloring, and once again trying to warm it up a little bit so that it makes a little bit more of a spreadability and blendability. So you'll see I'm doing a little bit more of a dabby kind of motion. If you have something that's maybe a little bit lighter than skin tone, it would be still okay to be using, because generally there is some little bit of discoloration as well. So if you lighten it up as well, it will help for your under eye area. So as you can see, it's using it as a completely buildable way. So it's not about putting massive amounts of coloring onto your face area. It's taking little bit for little bit, doing a little bit of blotting, dabbing it everywhere where you want to get some of that coloring. Getting as close as possible to your natural lash line. So the same way that you've used this underneath your eye area, if you wanted to implement any of these techniques around your nose area, around your mouth area, wherever you find any kind of blueness, redness that you want to neutralize, you can be using that same technique and then going and adding some of that coloring everywhere where it's necessary. So remember, this specific look is kind of doing a no makeup look. It's really only enhancing all your flawed areas that you feel you want to make it appear that it looks better, but still being excessively natural without it looking like you've had your makeup done. So this is 100% that kind of look that we're trying to create here. So we'd be filling in brows a little bit, doing still a little bit of a liner, doing a mascara, finishing the look with a little bit of light blush, a little bit of a light contour, and a light lip color. You will have just this entire natural looking look, but without it looking like you actually have any kind of makeup on. This is what you want to be using to achieve that. So when you look at this eye and you look at this eye, this already has lightened up your eye area a lot more. You've taken away some of your discoloring in your eye area. So whether you implement that on your nose area or around your lip area, or if you have any other areas that you want to conceal, you can be using this technique. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching.